This tells us how much sample time we have left in our MV8000. Now at the bottom of our sampling screen we have a few different options for our F keys. We have sampling for F1, resampling for F2, reset peak for F3, and start for F5. We have nothing for F4, as you can see there. Now sampling, that's our basic sampler, and we're going to be taking it from our external inputs here on the back. And if you hit resampling, you can see here it changes, a little picture up here. We're actually going to be sampling from the output of our MV8000. So we can sample something that's already in our song. We'll show you this later on. I'll go back to sampling here, and now you also have reset peak. What this does is when you have a peak on your meter here, say it'll be like -5 or 0 or it clips, you can hit reset peak and it'll go back down to 0 to actually be able to see what level you're reading. And we have start here. This starts your recording or starts the trigger, whatever will happen with trigger. And all the way over here we have our start button, which is F5. What start does is, if we're in manual, it's going to start recording. If we're in trigger, it'll basically do whatever we have set to trigger. And that's it. That's your start button. Let's actually start sampling. Alright, now we're going to actually start sampling. I have a external CD player hooked up to the left and right input on the back of the MV8000. I'm going to hit play on my CD player. And we have a little guitar there. And I actually want the next one. That's it right there. So I'm going to pause my CD player here. Go back to the top. I'm going to play it again and set my level. And I'll do this using my input knob on the left of my MV8000. Get a nice even level there, reset my peak, and we have it right before clipping. Alright, go to the top of it, and I will hit start. As you can see, it says now sampling. I'll hit stop. Press stop on my CD player. And now we have our sample. Alright, now that we've taken our sample, before we keep it, we have a few options we can do here. We have our start point and our end point so that we can edit exactly what we want from our sample. Why don't we start with that? We have our start point, and I'm going to start turning my jog wheel here, and you can see on the screen our start point begin to move, and I want to get it right up to the beginning of our sample. And now I can play the sample by pressing preview, which is located on F4. Turn this up a little bit so you guys can hear, and I got it just about right there on the front. Now I'll go to my endpoint here. And as you can see, once I start to turn this, there goes our endpoint. It starts to move. So I want to loop our sample here. Why don't I play it? And as you can see, it's not playing from the start of the sample. Why is that? I'm hitting preview. Well, it's because we're in endpoint. If I move it back up and now hit preview, it plays from the beginning of our sample. So let's see what we've edited so far. Now, it's not looping quite right. And I can see right here that I need to get rid of just that little bit there at the end. I'm going to move my endpoint and edit it up. Alright, I'll preview. Oh, let's go to start point. And now we have a good loop here. Next, what we can do is there's two options to the right of endpoint. We have Truncate and Normalize. When I select Truncate, what it's going to do is take this space of the sample here and this space and get rid of it, which is exactly what I want to do. I don't want to have to take up extra space with, this empty sample data. And I'm going to hit Normalize. Normalize will bring my sample up to full volume. And as you can see here at the bottom, we have 5 different options on our F keys. We have retry, say if you didn't like the sample or you sort of messed up when you're taking it. We have name, we can name our sample. We have chop, which we can chop our sample into different slices, which we'll show you later on. We have preview, as I showed you before, to preview our sound. And we have OK to accept. Now I'm going to hit OK. It processes it. And now we're at our pad selection screen. Alright, now we're in our quick assign. This comes up right after we edit our sound, and basically it allows us to place the sound onto a pad. As you can see here, we have 16 different pads. So yeah, we have 16 pads here. As you can see, if I hit a pad, it changes to whatever pad I have, and right under our assignment we can see the pad number change. And the 1 right here, if you can see it's pretty small there, corresponds to what pad bank. Now if I move the cursor down and go to 2, this would mean pad bank number 2 and whatever button I press. You got it? Alright, we can also select what patch we're going to save it to. We're going to use number 1 for right now, and I'm just going to assign it to our first pad. Also, the MV8000 gives us another option to make a keyboard, and we can actually assign our sample from one note to another and make a key map out of it. It's pretty cool. Here at the bottom of our assign page, we have a few F options. We have, for F1, we have name. We can also name again our sample if we want to change it here. We can preview our sample. There's our guitar. And we can set it, which will set my sound, our little guitar here, right to the first pad. Let's do that. I hit set, and it brings us right back to the sampling screen to take in our next sample. Good luck, guys. Have some fun with it.